Alright everybody, I'm sorry I'm uploading this one a bit later and recording this one a bit later on in the day, but I gotta talk about the New York Jets because they stumbled to a humiliating 0-7, losing 13-6 to the Carolina Panthers, and this team has just not done anything good in 7 weeks of football that they played. We're almost midway through the NFL season, and the New York Jets not only have not won a game, they've not even looked competitive in at least half of their games so far on the year. And that is a major sign of concern. Obviously, their starting quarterback, or former starting quarterback, Justin Fields, the guy ain't the answer. I thought he had talent. I still think he has a bit of talent, but it's clear he is probably more than likely, unless he has a Sam Darnold-esque career revival in 2 or 3 years, is not a starting quarterback and is more of a, spot starter or like a high-end, really high-end backup. I just don't think, from what I've seen this year, that Fields can be considered a starter anymore. I was optimistic about the Jets, and maybe they could do something good this year. There's just no way. The defense has been largely awful other than this game where they played well. But let's be honest, it's not hard to play good defense against the Panthers. The Panthers, by the way, are 4-3. That is crazy. Their season looked lost like 2-3 weeks ago. They have a winning record. And that's kind of wild to me. But, their defense did play well against the Panthers offense, which is obviously not very good. But still, the Panthers, they're winning record. They got a winning record, so that counts for something for the Jets, right? They played a good defensive game against a team with a winning record. They didn't win that game, but still, I guess that's sort of the context of it, and that matters, and that counts for something. Aaron Glenn is going to be a one-and-done coach. If they start 0-8, 0-9, there's no point. This team better start showing some... And a lot of people say, oh, well, Dan Campbell started 0-10, or whatever the fuck it was. Right? Whatever the hell it was. The Lions had, nothing. They literally didn't have a thing. They were just a garbage team. They had garbage players on their garbage team. And they were garbage, with a coach who was just figuring it out, how to be head coach in the league. Right? The thing is, the Jets, they have guys on defense. They have a couple guys on offense. It's not like they should not be winless. They should have 2-3 wins right now, at least. But Aaron Glenn's coaching ain't good. His defense ain't even that good, even though they did play good this week. This team is in tatters. This is a team that, once again, should have a couple of wins. Justin Fields ain't it. Tyrod is even worse. Tyrod Taylor is a fucking scrub. He should have been out the league a couple of years ago. Tyrod is horrible. No arm. Can't read it. He's never been able to read a defense. And that's why he checks down. It's because he can't read a defense. Tyrod is fucking awful. Fields is not good, but Tyrod is worse. Whoever the third string quarterback is, I would give that guy a shot, honestly, because you're 0-7. What do you have to lose on the season? You ain't making the playoffs. You're going to get the first pick regardless of who you put out there at quarterback. Whether it be Tyrod, whether it be Justin Fields, whether it be the third string dude on your roster. That doesn't matter at all. You're going to lose these games. The team is just totally inept. You can tell they're not playing hard for Aaron Glenn. They don't care to play for him as the coach. And once again, I think he's a one-and-done. Their offense is one of the worst in the league. They have no identity. Their offensive coordinator is is horrible. His play calling is, I don't know who it is, but he needs to be fired. He's terrible, and he needs to go. Obviously, Aaron Glenn's not done a great job, but the players, they're not playing physical. They're not playing hard. They're not playing tough. They're not playing for their coach. And it's hard to coach a team that isn't willing to play tough for you, right? And that's been the sort of case for the Jets for this season, is they're not playing tough enough. And Aaron Glenn has got to instill that mentality into them. Glenn seems like he could be a good locker room leader guy, but right now his ability to coach a team is dog shit. It just is. He has not shown a lick of coaching ability for this Jets team. It's looking like a bad hire. And Glenn will bounce back somewhere else for a good team as a coordinator after he gets fired this season, but I can't see a world they keep him. Once again, I would give him like a 3-game leash. If you lose the next 3 games, it's over. You're fired. There's no point of even continuing the season with Glenn as your head coach. And we're finding out he probably isn't a good head coach material. We're finding out Fields isn't a starting quarterback. We're finding out all the other morons on the coaching staff don't know how to do their job. Once again, a lot of this has to do with coaching. A lot of it's the players not playing tough and physical and as hard as they should be. And combined with bad schemes all around, it's a mess, man. It's a 50-50 blame. Coaching's trash. Players don't care to play hard on Sundays. So, obviously, if you're a Jets fan, you're looking forward to the upcoming NFL draft, where they will pick a quarterback. There's no point in sticking with Fields another season because of how utterly dog shit, or don't even bother with Tyrod. You might as well tell him to go fuck himself in the offseason because he's just as big of a scrub, if not worse, than Fields is at quarterback. And you may need to be finding a new head coach in the offseason as well, a new offensive coordinator as well. It's basically going to be, you're going to blow it all up. If you're the front office of the Jets, you have to be saying to yourself right now, like, what's the point of giving Glenn another year and giving these coordinators another year? Just blow it up, restart, and reset, get a quarterback. I think that them picking a quarterback wouldn't be the worst idea because they have, like, their line's okay. And Garrett Wilson's a good number 1 target for a young quarterback. So it wouldn't be a shockingly shit situation. It wouldn't be a great one, but it would be adequate. Like, it would be, It wouldn't be like, okay, you're going to the worst team in the league with no line, right? It's not like you're, like, going to, like, the Titans or anything, where they just don't have anything. They have nothing. You're going to the Jets, they don't have any stability, but the thing is they have talent. They have players. They have the guys on defense, the guys on offense. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, you get the point. They have guys. And the guys need to play better. That's understating it. But the coaching also has not been there. And when you mix those two up, when you have bad coaching and players who don't care, you're going to get a team that's 0-7. You're going to get a team that, during this week is already looking forward to, mid-season, is already looking forward to drafting a new quarterback in the NFL draft in 2026. It's so sad because the season is still young. Like, there's still a lot of football to be played in the NFL this year. And their season's already done. There's no point, right? It's cooked. It's totally fucking over for the Jets. And I don't know how many Jets fans watch my content. If you do, man, I fucking feel bad. Because I actually had some optimism, a bit of hope for this team that maybe they could... I actually thought there was a chance they could make the playoffs. I thought their defense would live up to potential. The defense doesn't live up to potential. They give up way too many... They give up way too many big plays in crucial moments. And it shows, man. So, for the Jets, you're just looking forward to next year. You're looking forward to resetting the whole organization because clearly if Aaron Glenn keeps losing, he ain't the coach. He's out. He's done. Fields ain't gonna be a starter for you next year. No point. Tyrod's not gonna be on your team. I would not be surprised if one of your major star players, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, any of those guys, go ahead and request a trade. I wouldn't blame the Breece Hall. If one of those dudes were to request a trade, I wouldn't even bat an eye. I'd be like, oh, okay, I understand that. It wouldn't be shocking, it wouldn't be surprising. I wouldn't say, wow, this guy's a traitor or a scumbag or anything like that. I'd be like, wow, good for him. He wants out of that shithole. And eventually it's going to happen. I do think at least one of their really good players, like a Wilson, like Sauce, like a Breece Hall, is going to try to get out of there because you're just wasting your career at that point on a team that won't win shit. And as a player, you want to win. You want to get paid money. You want to get your cash, but you want to win. Like, it's the NFL at the end of the day. You don't want to be, being paid as like a top 10 player, but you're on a team that doesn't even make the playoffs every single year. What's the fun in that? I know you're getting paid and all that stuff. You're cashing the check, but that check doesn't matter because that check does not equate to winning in the league. So one of those guys is going to be out the fucking door. And then they'll be held to pay There'll be a lot of backlash. And the Jets just need to restart in the offseason. Reset everything. Literally do a full reset. And start anew and try to build a culture, try to build an... I know that's what Aaron Glenn's trying to do, but his culture is losing. Right? This isn't something that is... This isn't a Dan Campbell. This isn't a Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell, once again, they had trash players his first year. They were dog shit for a reason. They weren't fucking good. They had no talent. With the Jets, there's guys that can win games. And they've proven they can win games, but they're just not playing for him, man. And he's not coaching well either. He's not helping his own case. So I would probably fire Glenn and just fucking restart. Draft a quarterback, whether that be Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson. I don't know who I would draft. Just stay away from guys like fucking Garrett Nussmeier and Drew Aller and Lenore Sellers, or you should be fine. Sellers is more of a second, third round guy. That's just who he is, and Drew Aller's not even going to get drafted. He probably won't even get a camp invite. He's the worst quarterback I've ever seen in college history, next to Archibald Manning, because he just sucks. And yeah, they're going to get the first overall pick. They're probably going to win 2-3 games and get the first overall pick, and you'll be picking a quarterback. Mendoza probably looks like the safest option. Guy who has really good frame, really good arm, really accurate, really confident, really poised, great pocket presence. Seems like a guy who is going to be, a surefire, solid quarterback in the league. I think he has, a floor of a below average and the ceiling of a top 10 quarterback. So you're going to get a franchise quarterback if you draft Mendoza and develop him properly, which the Jets probably will fuck that up. But yeah, man, the Jets are lost. They're in no man's land. They're 0-7. There's nothing to look forward to, right? Absolutely nothing to look forward to on Sundays for Jets fans. If you're a Jets fan, you watch my content. Once again, I feel so fucking bad. This is the most embarrassing year. And a lot of you lived through like Rich Kotite and Adam Gase, two of the worst coaches ever in the history of football. Rich Kotite, probably the second worst coach ever in the history of football next to Mike McDaniel, which is crazy now. Mike McDaniel taking the throne off of Kotite, but a lot of you guys lived through Gase. You lived through Rich Kotite, and this is, come on, you're 0-7. It has to be worse than Kotite, right? It has to be worse than Gase. I know with Gase, they start off like 0-11, but come on, this has to be worse. Like, you haven't been more, because the thing is, with those Jets teams, that Jets team with Gase in 2020 COVID year, there wasn't really much talent either. Like, they were relying on an old geriatric Frank Gore to carry the running game. They got Breece Hall now. They got dudes who can play. Adam Gase was a shit coach, but Aaron Glenn, there's no excuse. He needs to be fired. He needs to go. Reset in the offseason. Draft quarterback. That's that, man. Thank you all for watching. This has been Mr. Truth, and this was nothing but the truth.